What? Mm, Yes, I'll read it. Disclaimer, I am not a financial advisor, and this is in no way financial or trading advice. I am simply sharing option trading strategies that I use and have been successful with in the stock market. This presentation is for educational purposes only. There are significant financial risks involved with trading, and I am not responsible for your losses in the market should you decide to utilize the information and or strategies within this presentation. By choosing to proceed, you are acknowledging your understanding of this disclaimer.
Boom. All right. So ultimately, this lesson would be going over the 30 and 60 minutes. And another way to look at it, as stratters, most times Rob says to stick to the 30 and 60s if you're a newbie. All right. Reason being is because intraday, all right, so intraday market, it is going to be more confirmation on the 30 and 60 minute. All right. The way you should be looking at the 30-minute chart is just that it takes two 30-minute candles to make one 1 hour candle. All right. The reason why I'm going over this is to help you understand why the flips are important and give you a different way of looking at it. So the reason why we always say 30-minute or 1 hour flip is so that you know that there's a new candle. All right. But there is a difference between the 30-minute flip and the hour flip. And the biggest difference is one, what that 30-minute flip means in relation to the hour flip. So whenever we say 30-minute flip, right? That's usually at the top of the hour. That's your, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. All right. Now that 10 o'clock candle, for instance, in this is actually the back half of the hour candle. All right. So these two candles right here, if I take this box and I draw them, right? These two candles right here makes up an hour candle. All right. So if I actually went to the hourly chart, let's see. I don't know what happened to it. Where'd that thing go?
Just
There
my
it go. No, it's right there. It just didn't draw it. Opacity or something like that. But basically, it's this 1 hour candle right here. All right. So those two candles made up that 1 hour candle. All right. The reason why this is important, again, is first half versus back half. And this goes back to the uncoupling, right? Until that 30-minute flip, right? Technically, that 30-minute candle and that 1 hour candle have the same opening. The reason why this is important when it comes to, there's a hashtag on Twitter called 30 and 30 by a guy named Paul. All right, he's a strat as well. So a lot of times what they're doing is saying, hey, just stick to the 30-minute chart, catch reversals on the 30-minute chart, and you could ultimately potentially see, 30% on an option contract, right? Just in case you end up stumbling across that hashtag. But I'm giving you this right here as another way to look at the 30 and 30. Don't just look on the 30 minutes, see anything. Look at the actual back half and how it's going to set up that next hour candle, right? Because sometimes what happens is the first half of the hour, they might drop the price. And as you can see on this 930 candle, right? Because we're on a 30-minute chart. The first half, they dropped it. But the second half, we started to recover. And that set up a 2-2 reversal going into that new hour candle, right? Because this candle right here starts the new hour. Now, just using 30 and the 60-minute, right? You can potentially find plays. You can find setups like, all right, I might get the 2-2 reversal on the 30-minute. And once that new hour candle comes, because again, when we have an hour flip, we're not only just getting a new hour candle, we're getting a new hour candle, we're getting a new 30-minute candle. And if you want to talk about the 15-minute, we're also getting a new 15-minute candle. All right. So a lot of times, if you actually just start searching for plays or searching for reversals, bullish two downs on the 30-minute candle on the second half of the 30-minute. All right. So again, the second half is the top of the hour. Whenever we say 30-minute flip, a lot of times you can actually find reversals on that 30-minute going into that next hour flip. Or if you're looking at this on a 15-minute chart, if you go down one more time frame, I'm sure there was already a reversal, which was probably right here, right? You got the 2-2 reversal on the 15-minute. You can also find you an entry on the 15-minute and get in a little bit earlier instead of waiting for that next 30-minute candle. So far, is that making sense to everybody? Put a 3 in the chat. All right, because again, what you want to do is not, because I know we say flip, but it's just a different way of looking at it that I start looking at it this way, is the first half versus the back half, right? When we say 30-minute flip, yeah, we're getting a new 30-minute candle, right? And that could change the continuity and set up the hour or stuff like that. But a lot of people don't look at it. It's like, hey, we might have been bearish the first half of the hour, but now because we got a new 30-minute candle, now we're going bullish the second half of that hour candle. And this is actually setting up a reversal, one on the 30-minute chart, right? But it's also setting up for a reversal on the hourly chart. So on this 2-2 reversal, right? On the 30-minute, if we do the 30 and 30, where you just look at the chart, right? We take this reversal right here because we get a new hour candle, right? But you get go to the hour chart, right? You don't actually get the reversal until the actual next hour, right? But the setup started to be there just from that 130-minute candle, right? The back half of this 930 candle, right? So the back half being that 10 o'clock flip, right? That starts to set up the reversal to the upside. So if you start to think about it in those terms, you can actually start to see the reversal better. That, all right, we're dropping the first half. We got a 30-minute flip. All right, let's see what the back half of this hourly candle set up. All right. Oh, we're setting up for a potential 2-2 reversal. Even though we don't get it, we end up getting the 2-1-2 reversal on that next hour, but we're already in the trade from here. So we got a great entry. And then when we get the 2-1-2 on the hour, you could potentially add to the position or whatnot, right? Maybe you started light, maybe you grab 2 contracts here and you added 2 more contracts when you got more confirmation on the hourly chart, right? And that could be using just the 30-minute and the 60-minute and looking at it in that way, first half versus back half and what it's setting up and what that could potentially lead to on the hourly chart using the 30-minute chart. Now you can take trades that have more confirmation and it's a stronger time frame versus trying to, get those sniper entries on like the 5-minute and 15-minute for a lot of people that are beginners. Um, you don't have to worry about trying to, snipe an entry there. You can just actually look at it in this way. Does that make sense to everybody so far? Because this is a great example of first half, back half, the 30-minute flip. When we say that at the top of the hour, which is 10, 11, 12 o'clock, that's actually the back half of that hourly candle. And again, that could set up a reversal for the next part, for the next hour candle. Also, for people that are looking at TTO, sometimes, TTOs or corrective activity might happen on that first half or it might happen on the back half. So it just gives you a different way of actually looking at it and thinking about it versus just, new candle time frame continuity might change. You also need to say, hey, what is this setting up for the next hour to do? What is this setting up for the next 4-hour flip, right? Because you can take it a step further and look at, because a lot of times we plot our trades on like the 4-hour chart. So what's the first 2-hour candles of the day doing versus the second 2 hours, right? Because the second 2 hours of the day, so that means what the first hour is obviously 8:30, right? And then second hour is 9:30. 10:30 is the third hour, and 11:30 is the fourth hour, right? These back half candles right here, these two are going to set up your 4-hour candle. You see what I'm saying? Because if you split the 4 hour in half, these two will group together and those two will group together. And a simple way to do it, if you have TradingView, and I think Thinkorswim also has it, is just go into like a 2-hour chart, right? So went to a 2-hour chart and you see the back half is that 10:30, 11:30 candle. And then we get the new 4-hour candle at 12:30. So it's just different ways of actually thinking about the time frames and, first half versus back half. Because like, for instance, if you go into a day, right? Let's say we go into Tuesday, Monday, let's say price went up, right? Price ran all day Monday. Well, going into Tuesday, the first 2 hours of the day might be corrective activity. But after the first 2 hours, now they want to take price back up, right? that could be a way of you actually compartmentalizing what's going on versus just saying, oh, we got a reversal right here. Well, yeah, we got a reversal, but also the time that we got the reversal is after being in the market for 2 hours. And that reversal starts a lot of times on those lower time frames, the 5-15 minutes, but a lot of people aren't good at getting a good interest and actually seeing like the overall picture. So if you just go with the 30-minute and 60-minute, you can see those a lot better. But also you want to look at the time frame of when this has actually happened. And a lot of times you see the real move on the back half of time frames, whether it's the back half of a 4 hour candle, which means the last 2 hours in that 4 hour candle, or the last 30 minutes of a 60-minute candle, or the last 15 minutes of a 30-minute candle. A lot of times the real move is on the actual back half of things versus the front half. The front half might have been just profit taking. So that's ways that you can actually look at the time frames and fully understand for the people that like to, ration out what's going on and, when things are happening and stuff of that nature. Everybody understand that? Put like a 3 in the chat or say where you might be confused at. And also, the best times to actually start to scan intraday, if you want to scan for something, let's say you can't find it on your own, the best times to scan, like for, let's say, for instance, you want to do a 30-minute scan, you want to do it 5 to 10 minutes before that candle closes. All right. So for instance, let's say the market was open right now, right? I would start doing my 30-minute and 60-minute scans at 4:20, if you can see the time. For me, I'm Central Time. So it'd be 4:20, right? Or 4:25. That's when you want to do your 30-minute and your 60-minute scans, right? Because again, just because we would be about to have an hour flip at 4:30, don't mean just scan for only hourly setups. You might actually want to scan for 30-minute setups too, right? Because the reversal might not happen on the hourly time frame. It might happen on the 30-minute time frame, but it's a continuation on the hourly time frame. All right. And then for the opposite side, when it's about to be a 30-minute flip, right, you want to actually scan at 450, 455 for the 30-minute scans, because we'll be about to have a new 30-minute candle. And also, if you want to do hourly scans, then you can, because maybe right now it's just the inside hour, and maybe you can start to look for a setup that way, because again, the when we get the 5 o'clock candle, which was using the time frame we got going right now, for example, right? um that's going to be the back half of an hourly candle. So maybe on the hourly chart, when you did the scan before, maybe you don't remember what was on that scan when you did it at the 4:20 time, and maybe let's say it never triggered. Maybe you didn't write it down. Let's say it never triggered. Well, it might trigger on the actual back half at that 5 o'clock, when we would say 30-minute candle. So remember, top of the hour is 5, 6, 7. Bottom of the hour is 4:30, 5:30, 6:30, 7:30. All right, for the people that don't know the difference between top of the hour and bottom of the hour. Where's the confusion, Nietzsche? Because ultimately you would want to do the scans before the actual new candle populates. You wouldn't want to do a 30-minute scan on the 30-minute flip, because almost all of them might be inside candles, because you just got a new 30-minute candle. You'll want to know what the setup is beforehand. So for instance, if I'm looking for, let's go to like a 30-minute chart. Let's say I'm looking for a 212, right? So let me delete this, right? When you're trying to look for a 212 continuation or 212 reversal, right? You just search for the inside candle. I wouldn't search for this when this 12:30 candle happens. Why? Because it's going to be an inside candle too. I want to do it right before this candle closes, right? So that would be searching for this at 12:20 or at 12:25 before 12:30 happens, right? That's when you do the scan. You don't do it on the actual flip, because you're going to get the new populate. You're going to populate a new candle. So when you run your scanner, it's running it off the last candle that appears, right? That's how these scanners work. They scan the last candle. They scan for the last candle, right? If you just got a new candle you did the search right when the flip happened, you're going to populate the candle that you're going to end up finding the candle that just populated. You want to know the candle before the new candle, right? Which is this candle right here. And that's why you do the scans again at 1225, 1220, because ultimately that candle is about to close. Whatever move it was going to make, it basically made it. Now, sometimes you do have an inside candle where somehow in the last 2 minutes it ends up going directional. But again, that's why you do the scan at 1220, 1225. You know what those candles are. You can write them down, write those setups down, then go back and check once you get the new candle and be like, all right, this one's so close to triggering. I'm probably going to take this one or I'm going to take that one. So that's why you do the scans then. You don't actually do it when 1230 actually happens. Because when 1230 actually happens again, where's that replay tool? Here it go. When you do the scan, if it plays, all right, when you do the scan, it's going to scan for this candle. And these candles are going to be what populates. So again, 1220, 1225, right before the hour flip. And then for the 30-minute flip, you would scan at 1250, 1255. All right, because you want it before the new candle comes. Does that make sense to everybody? Put a 3 in the chat or whatnot. So that's how you actually scan for the plays intraday. You start your scans at 420, 425, or for the 30-minute flip, 450, 455. And then you do those inside scans or those bullish 2 down scans or bearish 2 up scans, or maybe even if you're scanning for outside candles, that's when you do those scans. All right. That way, when the new candle populates, you already have everything plotted out. You have your entries and all those plotted out, as well as, if it takes you a while to figure out what option contract you're going to go with, you can already have that figured out. So again, if you're new and you're having trouble and you're like, oh, 5 and 15 minutes doesn't really work out for me, start using the 30 and the 60s. All right. And again, look at the 30-minute flip as this is the back half of the hour. This is going to set up my next hour candle. All right. This is going to set me up for the next hour. This reversal right here might lead to this reversal on the hourly chart or continuation on the hourly chart. That's the mentality that you need to have. All right. Now we'll take questions because ultimately we're going to do like a hard stop here in like 7 to 15 minutes. If anybody has any questions, you can raise your hand. Because ultimately, sometimes we don't need, a lot of time to explain things. Sometimes it's like these little nuggets here and there that can easily make you better. Are we still bullish on Neo, right? I just take what the chart give me. I don't really have a thought process with it. It's like if Neo wants to continue going up, it's going to continue. I think it had a 3 on the week. Was it a 3 on the week? Yeah. So like with Neo, let me delete some of this stuff on here. We might get the 3-2 continuation. All right, above, delete this. Above 21.24, first target is going to be 23.35. I think Neo on average moves like $2 to $3 a day, something like that. Hold on, let me see. If I type in Neo, what is Neo's ATR? $2, right? So Neo could hit this potentially tomorrow. And I think on the daily chart, it'll be a continuation. But it also does have this gap right here. So it's like, does it want to come back? Oops. Come back and get that gap. So if it goes 2-2 continuation tomorrow, which would be a 2-1-2 continuation on the 4-hour chart. So technically you have a slightly early entry, right? You have the 4-hour entry of 21.07. Then you have the week and day, because the week and day are the same entry, which is 21.24. And then you have the weekly target. Now, for some people, I know some people like marking the 4-hour targets. I don't, because then that's more lines on my watch list charts, right? But on the daily chart, you got, this one, which let me change this to like green or yellow, whatever. You have that target, this target, and then so 2 targets in between that weekly target, which all of them could be hit tomorrow because Neo can move up to, what was that, $2 and what? $2.12. So we'll just have to see, because it could gap down or something and push all the way down and fill this gap because there's a gap in price from, matter of fact, let me just do it with the box. There's a gap in price from, oops, from here to there. And let me change that opacity back. So there's a gap in price that Neo has to fill. When you say set up into the next hour, it's basically the candle patterns on the cheat sheet, right? Yeah, it's basically just the candlestick patterns on the cheat sheet. So again, with Neo, it's just if it continues. I don't have any bias with it. If it wants to continue up, then it will. If it wants to come back and get that gap, it may. As well as it's the end of the month. It's getting close to the end of the month. And the end of March is actually the end of the quarter. So it could just be shorts taking profit. So I don't want to have too much bias with it. You just got to play with the chart shows. Oh yeah. Also, yeah. What Shiva is just saying, because a lot of people use this. I know Paul uses um the I think I showed this before, the multi-time period charts. You can add that to your chart and then you change the time frame up here. So like let's say you don't have too many monitors. You can actually set the time frame to show you the hour, right? And it will populate boxes that show you the hour, which I don't know why I didn't do it. 60. Oh, there you go. So it'll show you that, all right, these two candles make up the hour, these two candles, and it can show you how the hours is changing. All right. Or you can actually use it on the 15-minute and look at the hour that way. So some people are using these multi-time period charts. There's a version for Thinkorswim, but it looks weird. I think we were on here trying to figure it out before, or I was somewhere. But again, it's the multi-time period chart. Just go in the settings, turn off auto time frame, and change it to the time frame that you want to see. So let's just say you're on the 15. You use the 15 to 30-minute to look at charts, and you want to use the 15-minute to also show you the hourly. All right, that's how you can do that, as well as not use so many monitors. Not use so many screens, things of that nature. How do you get the TTM squeeze? It's the TTM Squeeze Pro by Beardy Fred. So this is the TTM squeeze I'm using. No, this intraday method is for finding trades intraday, because a lot of times I'm already in the trade, but it's just for finding trades intraday. But when you're looking at time frames, it's no different than using it to stay in a trade versus not using it to stay in a trade. So you can use it to get in trades, stay in trades, see overall trend. Like it's not like you look at time frames any differently. You should always be looking at them with that same mentality. Again, anything with the strat works for everything. We don't have like a change in philosophy or anything like that. So if that's all, then we'll go ahead and end the class. Kay, do you have anything?
No, this was dope. It's really good. That indicator is pretty dope. That's literally my first time seeing that multi-time period charts, but that's pretty dope. I like how you can actually see the reversals happening. It makes everything very, very clear. Very, very clear. But no, I don't have anything. Wow, that's pretty dope. I'm sorry, I'm just looking at this hammer candle that really was just showing like a very clear reversal. So, anyways, I don't have anything for you all. I'm happy to be back. Really quickly though, some people were saying that they got clapped on the S&P 500. Ray, what was last week like?
I don't know.
You don't know for SPY?
Mm-mm.
Because that's what they're saying in the community that